everyone. My name is John Snyder. I am the Channel Sales Manager here at Liongard that's dedicated to Techs+Together. I'll be your host for today. We're going to start with a brief overview of Liongard, who we are, where we came from, and then we'll dig into the application, talk about how it works, show you what the data looks like, things like that. And then we'll kind of dig into how we can help with 365 and how the partnership with Techs+Together is going to work. No questions are off the table, so please chime in at any time and use the Q&A section within Zoom in the chat window. However you guys want to throw questions at me, go ahead. So let me go ahead and get my screen shared here. So, yeah. All right, so let's see. Can everyone see my screen okay? Cool. So let's go ahead and learn about who we are, where we came from. So this is Joe and Vent, our fearless leaders here at Liongard. Liongard has MSP in its DNA to the core. So we were an MSP here in Houston called Impact IT for 14 years. Our owners, Joe and Ben, they had the opportunity to exit the business. They took it with their next venture. They wanted to solve a pain point that they had as MSPs, and that was being extremely security minded and process oriented. They wanted a really pristine configuration management database. They wanted all of their systems well documented for their clients, so they would always know what was going on, how things were configured, etc. But no matter how much they harped on their guys, tried to incentivize them, reminded them regularly, tried to create processes, wasn't happening. So as newly unemployed people, they decided to create Liongard, where the core of what we originally sought out to do was automate documentation. Now, the kind of landscape where we've moved into has really evolved from that. It's much more than automated documentation, but there's a ton of value in what we can provide. This might look familiar to some people. This is the typical managed service provider and all the surface area you have to cover. Each of these systems have their own portal, own reporting, alerting, and you have to keep up with them individually. For some reason, up until we came along, most of the automation in the MSP space was built around the endpoint. Having data segmented like this for a managed service provider, where everything has to be a really well-oiled machine, causes a lot of problems, causes inefficiencies, chaos, mayhem, digging around for data, trying to figure out what's configured, what's going on, what things are happening. This level of tool sprawl is often solved by onboarding a documentation repository like IT Glue or Hoodoo or any of the other ones that are out there. Problem is, that is a massive upfront manual effort. It's rare that it happens to completion the whole way through the first time, and the data is not going to keep itself up to date. Your time is your most valuable resource, so it should never be done. It should never be spent doing something that you can automate. As well as, no one got into IT to be technical writers. We all got into IT to be problem solvers. So Liongard is the automation that solves for that same X, trying to cut down on the blind spots, bring the data into a single place. So we are providing you with the unified visibility, collecting all of this data, pulling it into a single place. We help you standardize your documentations because we will go ahead and integrate with those documentation repositories you're using and automatically populate them. We help you standardize your configurations by alerting you of any kind of misconfigurations that are sitting out there, as well as any configuration drift that might be occurring. We're helping you secure these systems through change management because we're auditing these systems every time we inspect them, letting you know of any potential vulnerabilities that might be sitting out there. We're helping your team scale by streamlining support. Even if you're the one-man band, we are going to include the research and what's going on right there in front of you in the ticket, allowing you to operate as effectively and efficiently as possible. We're trying to save you time in a bunch of different places so that you can be as effective and efficient as possible. We are another way to kind of just paint the picture of where we sit in your solution stack is we sit parallel to the RMM. The RMMs are hyper focused on the workstations. Liongard covers everything else. And we do have some visibility into servers where we're going to pull deeper details, more of an MRI type scan, but we're pulling out all of the configurations from your cloud, network, and on-premise. We're documenting them, helping you secure them, and we're auditing them. So from here, let me go ahead and switch over into the application itself. So let me get Liongard pulled up here. All right, so let's take a look. So here is our dashboard. You can see the total number of environments that we've got onboarded here, total number of systems across those environments. An environment to us is a client to you and your team. We can see the total number of open alerts, the sandbox. We've got all kinds of crazy stuff firing off in here, in the discovered systems. We automatically discover most of the systems that we integrate with. And it's a single agent deployment model. So these systems are either automatically being discovered by that on-premise agent on the DC, discovering systems on the network that we can integrate with, or through parent-child API relationships in the cloud. We believe that the system information portion of fully documenting a client, whether you're onboarding them as a new client of yours or bringing them onto Liongard, that documentation should take about an hour. We're here to help you achieve that through automation. Today's onboarding and documentation processes, if it's getting done, typically takes 10x of that. We're here to help you operate at 10x and cut down on these things that are cumbersome and giving you that good, clean, healthy data. So digging into the application, there's two different ways to see the data within Liongard. You can either go customer by customer or system by system. I typically like to showcase how the data is formatted on a single system that everyone's familiar with, and that's going to be Active Directory. So this is on-premise AD. If you guys are using Azure AD for group policy, we've got that fully covered. If you guys are using Jump Cloud, we've got that covered as well. We have over 75 integrations that are currently in production. We try to integrate to anything and everything. So, and the data here is formatted the exact same way as we have it in all of the other systems. So 365, your firewalls, DNS records, you name it, they're all going to have this same formatting of a timeline, an overview, tabs. The data gets more granular in the data frame. So in the overview inside of Active Directory, we have high-level settings, just getting to the meat of the matter of important details like the domain name, mode, total users, privileged users, stale users, groups, computers, servers, password policies. So we integrate with most of the major PSAs. So whether you guys are using the BMS through Techs+Together, maybe you guys are using ConnectWise Manage, Synchro, Autotask, you name it, we can send you tickets to your service boards, letting you know of alerts on any of these data points that we can see. So some examples right off the top of what I can see here on this, just this one page is, say a new privileged user gets created in this Active Directory, or maybe this password length isn't long enough, because you can enforce standards through Liongard and apply it across the board, get alerted if any of those configurations ever don't meet those standards, be able to run a tight ship, right? Have it brought to your attention so you're not digging around trying to verify configurations. You can just have standards in place to make sure things are configured appropriately. And if things ever get changed to where they no longer meet your standards, you'll also be alerted. As far as the deep granular tabs go, we can see on the users tab, it's all of the details on the system. So on the users tab, we can see all the users, who they are, whether or not they're privileged, last login, last bad password attempt, last password change, what groups they're a member of. On the flip side, you get the groups, the members, description, scope, create time, modify time, the computers in the AD, what OS they're running, their IP address, whether or not they're active, anomalous activity against these, the group policy objects, there's any detached, we'll shoot you a ticket, make sure we're right there on your service board for the client, got the settings all well documented. Anything you could possibly know about this, need to know about this AD, it's well documented, it's standardized across the board for all of your clients to where you've got the exact same depth of data for everybody. There's no room for human error, and none of your time was spent trying to get this stuff documented, and we're going to keep it up to date for you because it's done automatically up to every 8 times a day. We run these inspections by default every 24 hours. Now, we have the ability to run them up to every 8 hours though, so 3 times a day. So naturally, all of our partners run them 3 times a day. Every time we run the inspection, we log a point on the timeline. Every point on the timeline is also kept for 18 calendar months. So we have a year and a half of historical data on these systems, and at every point we can drill into and see what these configurations were exactly on that day. Whenever we run the inspection, we do a full audit of the system, looking for adds, moves, changes from one inspection to the next. So whenever we see changes have occurred, we notate it with a yellow delta on the timeline. So we can see here, March 13th, 5 changes occurred. Let's drill in. Now all these details will reflect exactly as they were on March 13th. We highlight those changes on the Changes tab. Anything that's been removed from a record is notated with a red strike through. Anything that's been added is notated in green. So we can see what the privileged user list was, what it is now. Looks like Tony Stark or Iron Man got added to this AD as an admin. Iron Man or not, something we want to be aware of. Make sure it's something that we signed off on, something that we've approved for the client. So this is a situation where we would send you one of our actionable alerts. We have over 430 canned alerts across the 70+ integrations that we have pre-built into Liongard. So these are all designed, and we've taken feedback from the MSPs that have come before you guys and built these out, taking the data that we have and providing it valuable alerts against them. These tickets are made to be as helpful as possible, whether you guys have a level 1 or level 2 that is fielding these, or you're fielding them yourself. We want everything you could possibly need to know be right there in the ticket inside of BMS or whatever PSA you guys are using. So to stay on theme, let's take a look at change privilege users. So this is an example of a ticket. We're going to tell your team what we found, why they should care. If any potential security or attack vectors will also be listed here. There's none on change privilege user. And then the best course of action to remediate the issue. And then in the alert comments, we'll tell you exactly what changed to trigger this alert. We're going to tell you what was removed, what was added, what is going on right here in the ticket on your service board for this client. 90% of support is typically research. 10% is actually solving the problem. Liongard is out there doing the research for you every single day. We'll include that information in the ticket, have it there available for you. So that you're able to quickly assess the problem. You're not digging around in the data center trying to see what's happened. We've got it there presented for you on the service desk, so you're able to operate as quickly as possible. We want to be the best change management tool possible for an MSP, so we're fully customizable.
John, quick question right here.
Sure.
We have Tim is asking about Halo PSA, and I just wanted to let him know that it's not yet, but it is planned for us. And you just pointed out that today we can still email to create tickets on alerts. So you have that information. And then we do have a question from Tyson. Does it sync to IT portal?
So we IT portal, also known as SI portal. We don't have a direct integration to them. If you guys are interested in that, I would recommend that you reach out to your account manager at IT portal. The current trend that we've seen is the documentation platforms that integrate with us are building the integrations on their end to our API. That way we're able to function as good as well as possible within their environment if they're pulling the data out of us.
Thank
Cool,
you.
cool. Yeah, so we want to be the best change management tool possible. So you can either clone any of the pre-built alerts that we have in the platform, change the way they read, change their threshold, uh, anything like that. If there's a specific numeric value it's triggering off of, like an SSL cert expiration, have it ran 3 days before the SSL expires, 5 days, you name it. You have full control, as well as if there's no canned alerts that correspond to the kind of alerting you would be looking for, you can go into our rule creator here and create a completely custom alert on any data that we have on any system. So we can go into, say, Microsoft 365, kind of staying on theme there, pick an example tenant, and then go in and pick any of these rich data points that we have and have multiple conditions that need to be met, any kind of data, you name it, you can build an alert on anything. And you're not even limited to the metrics that we have pre-designated here. If any kind of data lives in our data print, you'll be able to alert on it. You can build your own metrics, you name it. We have that all available for you. So that is the front side of support. We're proactively letting you know, we're doing the research for you, letting you address the issues as quick as possible because you're not looking around for what's going on, running a tight ship. On the back end of support, you're not having to go in and update a documentation repository anytime there's a new user getting added in a 365 tenant, anytime there's a rule changing in a firewall, you name it, because we're doing that through automation as well. If you're familiar with the current IT Glue templates, there's no user data, no computer data, anything too actionable if you're using the standard ones. And like we were kind of talking about earlier, it's rare that everything gets filled out and stays up to date. Extremely rare. So we are that automation. Every piece of data that I have within Liongard will land here in our own custom flexible assets inside of IT Glue. So we have those tables I was showing you of the total users, privileged users, password policies, the deeper details in the users, who they are, their last password temp, last password change, you name it. And we're going to have the same granularity of details pushing into there for everything else. So your Azure AD, your domains, your DNS records, your 365, SharePoint, OneDrive, Teams, firewalls, switches, backups, antivirus, servers, you name it. Covering all of it in great detail, so you're never wondering how something is configured, and you're not having to dig around in individual portals to access it. You've got a central point of access. If there's any Hoodoo partners out there, we have a great integration to Hoodoo where they have written into us. So this is kind of the new wave of integrations to Liongard, is them writing to our API, where even in Hoodoo, we've got the tabular format where we're able to see the overview, then the deeper details that we've got here. So this is a 365 tenant. So let me quickly kind of hop over to 365 within Liongard, and then we can kind of keep digging there. So actually, let's take a look at a single client dashboard first, and then we'll get to the fun stuff in 365. So Contoso Nation, everyone's favorite fake Microsoft company. We've got the total number of systems we've got onboarded for this client here, changes that have occurred over the last 90 days, and total alerts. On this system view, you get kind of a doctor's clipboard type view of each of the systems that we're monitoring for them. You can pick and choose any 10 metrics that you want to highlight here. So you can see they've got some AWS details on internet domain. Let's say I want to include DKIM on this view, so let's add that. Identity monitoring, we've got some built-in identity monitoring where we'll automatically reference the email addresses that you've got in 365 and alert you of any data breaches that they've been a part of. And then 365, let's add some license counts, user counts, things like that, so that we can have a clean view where we can easily reference buildable metrics. Have those device counts, user counts, license counts all kept here, so that when we're doing the end of the month billing, it doesn't take a whole day trying to verify what you've got out there. Liongard's pulling those true values out for you and allowing you to just make a quick sweep through one view for each client. On the Changes tab, this is my favorite part of the single client dashboard because this gives you an eagle-eye view into everything that's occurring in this client's environment. Doesn't matter what system it's happening on, whether it's their firewalls, switches, servers, 365, Azure, you name it, will highlight the data points we've seen change across the board. So it looks like a user getting added to a group in 365, a license getting consumed, looks like some changes on an AD, some DNS records getting modified. You can see what the A record was, what it is now, you name it. If there's something going on, whether it's a bump in the night, a web developer breaking stuff, right? Updating DNS, causing havoc, or a malicious actor getting access to systems, creating new users, disabling users, things like that. Liongard is going to give you that eagle-eye view into what's going on, regardless of where it's happened. So this kind of overview and insight is key. Visibility is security. And Liongard's just about the only way you can get this level of visibility, and we do it at scale for you. So let's hop into 365 before we kind of keep on going. So Microsoft 365. So this is a single tenant in 365. If you guys spend much time in the Microsoft portals, you probably know they don't load well. You've probably got 6 different tabs open if you're trying to view data for a single client. So Liongard has gone in, we've created a nice tabular format for all of this data to where you can then view everything for a tenant. Also all in the same place. You've got all your tenants in a single location. You've also got the, from the same API, we're also creating a system inspection for Azure AD, OneDrive, SharePoint, Teams as well. So everything pulled out into a single consolidated location, feeding it into the core tools that you're using and alerting on it. So on the overview for 365, we've got your total active users, privileged users, disabled users, licensed users, assigned licenses. So if there's ever an unassigned license sitting out there for, say, an E5 or an E3 license, Liongard is going to shoot you a ticket. That's quick ROI. Being able to be made aware anytime a license isn't being used, making sure that everything is in good, clean order, right? You don't want to be spending extra money on licenses that our clients aren't using. We've got licenses by user where we can quickly search much more easily and see what specific licenses a user has. Tony Stark, he's got an F3. We've got the user screen here, which in my opinion is the most important screen in all managed services, because this is where a lot of the bad stuff happens. Unfortunately, we're pulling out all of the users in this 365 tenant, whether or not they're privileged, their MFA status, last strong authorization event, what their password policies are, whether or not they've been active, right? This is all stuff that we have to keep in order to be able to scale effectively and to keep our clients secure. So making sure there aren't users out there that that have privileges, making sure that everyone has MFA enabled, password policies in place, no users are going stale. That's a massive security risk. A client is maybe notorious about offboarding employees, not letting us know so we can remove their user from 365. Liongard will proactively send you an alert anytime a user hasn't been active.
Hey, John, we just got a question that came in our Q&A from Lee. Can a company/environment admin be granted access to just their data?
Absolutely. Yeah, we have role-based access control for any of those highly technical or maybe co-managed clients. You can give them read-only access to just their environment. So just the data that's associated with their environment, you'll get that. Another question, is this designed to replace existing RMM? Absolutely not. Everything that Liongard does is least surface area possible. So we want to be read-only, we want to be capturing data, giving visibility, right? Anytime we have a user that's created for us, it's least privileged user, it's never an admin. So we want to have just as much historical data, context, alerting, change management. Your RMM is hyper-focused on the workstations. We are focused on everything else as well as giving you some insight on some of those devices that the RMM might be overlapping, as well as we integrate with the RMMs. So VSA, for instance, if you remove a device from VSA, a few weeks go by, it's like that a device never existed. Liongard has 18 months of data of what the devices have been inside of VSA. So we're able to give you that kind of context, work in conjunction with one another. We're here to complement the RMM, not to replace them. Cool, great questions, guys. So digging into the rest of the tabs, we've got roles, the groups, who the members are, what they have enabled, the mailboxes. We're going to be monitoring for forwarding rules being added, removed, or modified. Typically, the first thing a malicious actor will do is set up an external forwarding rule. Some of them are even getting creative and creating internal forwarding rules, which we can also create a lower priority ticket for those just to verify them. The secure score controls, being able to dig into the different risk policies that are in place, making sure everything is in good order, being able to see what items are in breach, the domains, organizations, provision plans, applications, service principals, etc. Having all this data in one place, anything that you see not appearing here within 365, there's a couple of places you can live. More than likely, it's going to be under Azure AD, which I'll hop to here in just a second. But we also have our data print here, where we have the full JSON file of what we are pulling out of the API included for you. So this is where we can capture custom portions of what we're seeing out of that API, track those for changes, write alerts on them. Kind of getting deeper into how the process is made. You can fully customize what data we're seeing here. We include in the data views and pre-built metrics what we think are valuable, but everyone is very specific, right? It's the beautiful part of the MSP space is everyone operates their own way. And so you have the ability to customize what the metrics are, what data we're using out of the data print. To hop into Azure AD is awesome, the amount of visibility we get into there, because they love to hide this stuff, specifically risk detections, risky users. This stuff is not easy to get to out of Azure AD, so we make managing this stuff much more easy. So you've got the overview of the Azure AD, tenant secure score, total detections, active users .mfa, application sign-ins, tenant domains, get all the user data, the groups, members, administrative roles, their permissions, and then sort of the fun stuff starts, the audit logs. So you'll have 18 calendar months of the audit logs. So directory audits last 24 hours, and then the user sign-ins last 24 hours. Where are they coming from? What's their conditional access? What application are they accessing? In Intune tab. If you guys are utilizing Intune, we'll populate that data here for the configurations. We've got the different devices in the Azure AD tenant, whether or not they're compliant, their activity, device ID, and the security. So we're pulling out the risky users that Azure AD has detected, as well as the risk detections and the secure score here. So we can see some anonymous IP address, where they're coming from, total activity stamp, date detected, last updated. You're being able to get this level of historical data as well without any kind of crazy Azure AD license. If I know that there's a higher level of license where you can get it brought out to a year, we're going to go ahead and give you 18 calendar months without requiring that license. And then we kind of late stage, we become a single place of reporting for all of these systems through our API, through Power BI, which is really cool. Power BI is free to most people who are selling 365, which I'm sure everyone on the call here is. And there's a lot of cool stuff you can do with Power BI. If there's any power users in here, you guys know the power of having a massive data aggregator where you can access all of this in one place is really cool. And so that is kind of the quick tour. We integrate with most of the major firewalls. So whether you're using Sonic Walls, Meraki's, FortiGates, you name it, we've got them covered. Major backups, antivirus, a lot of Bitdefender on here. We'll have all the Bitdefender data. We integrate with VSA, Datto BCDR, any of the backup solutions, you name it. Just trying to aggregate everything in one place. It's all change tracked, documented, kept in good order. So let's kind of hop back over to some of the more details. And then if anyone has any questions off of that portion of the conversation, please go ahead and throw them my way. I'd love to hear them. So let me get my screen shared again. Let's go back over to PowerPoint. So
a lot of great stuff here. And yeah, if you guys are Power BI users, definitely let us know. We've got some really great resources here at Liongard that really understand how to build out those reports, and we'd love to get insights from you guys as well.
Awesome. So let's talk about how we can make a little bit of money on this, right? First off, we're going to save you a ton of time, and time saved is money, 100%. Kind of jumping ahead a little bit, at our lowest tier, it's $33 per month per client. If we think about that, that is 20 minutes of our time, typically on the low end. Your time is so valuable, and just through what we're able to do through the Microsoft suite of things, we know that we're going to be able to save you that 20 minutes a month, and anything past that is gains. But this is a service. This is helping your clients stay more secure. So how can Liongard increase your bottom line? You can pass on the cost of using Liongard to your customers as you're growing and bringing them on. And the best part is the profit margin increases with the number of users. Why? Because Liongard only charges you per environment, per customer. Because you charge per user, the more users you have, the more profit margin goes up. It's a win-win for you. You get an automation platform to help standardize your processes, secure your customers, scale your business, plus you generate revenue off of it too. And we are a monitoring solution that goes across the stack. So not just the cloud, we're covering their network, we're covering their apps and services. So let's take a look. So we also have Essentials, which is it's an additional option. So our core Liongard is designed for your fully managed nose to tail clients, right? That's going to be your core licenses. If you want to have an additional setup for Essentials clients, we call them, these are your Microsoft customers. These are the ones that we're managing their email is the primary thing, or maybe their break fix, but we sell them Microsoft. Or we just want to have more coverage, but they're a little bit on the smaller side. So we want to be able to fit any size of client for you guys. So it is Essentials lets you offer additional services such as Microsoft 365 monitoring, identity monitoring, because we're going to be tracking all of those emails in that 365 for breaches against the dark web database, and SSL and domains monitoring. We're going to capture their DNS records. We're going to audit them. We're going to look for DMARC, SPF, DCAM to be set up, DNSSEC. We're going to be monitoring their SSL certs for expiration. So let's say you charge your customers $55 for the additional services. Since Essentials is only $10 on the high end, you can make $45 and an 82% profit margin. It's a win-win for you. You get an automation platform that helps standardize your processes, secure your customers, scale your business, plus you make money off it too. As the majority of the audience is, there's a lot of one-man bands in here, right? And the most expensive thing that you guys can possibly do is hire somebody, having to add another member to your team. So the amount of legwork that Liongard is able to do for you, you genuinely can't pay someone to do that at the rate that we're able to do it for you. Having everything streamlined, running a tight ship allows you guys to keep growing without having to throw more bodies at it. So to kind of dig into the Techs+Together side of it, so we invest in our partners 100%. We wouldn't be successful unless you guys were successful with us. So we have what we call as our Smart Start program. And with Techs+Together coming into the fold and our new partnership, they're a part of this process too. So the first 3 sessions, whenever you come on board with us, this is all waived currently too. This is a complimentary onboarding as it stands, where we walk you through the setup of the product. These are about an hour each and designed to properly connect Liongard to your existing solutions, help you deploy your initial on-premise agent for customers with on-premise servers, set up the integrations to other systems that are easily inspected from the cloud. And once the data starts rolling in, the final sessions with Techs+Together help you define the metrics that matter to you, which changes you want to track, and which things you want to be alerted on. Just help you fine tune the product to work to how you guys work. And yeah, this is we've really fine tuned this, and on our end, anyone that you'll ever work with at Liongard for onboarding or support has been a level 2 engineer or greater at an MSP. It's part of our support hiring standards. We want everyone on our team to be have walked in your shoes, understand the urgency, be able to speak your language, and know what you guys go through on a day-to-day. So Techs+Together will be handling the level 1 support for the day-to-day. Once you guys are fully onboarded, anything that gets escalated beyond them will come to us directly, and we'll get you taken care of. And after the onboarding, we have what we call is our satisfaction guarantee. So if the product doesn't do what we've said, doesn't fit your practices, you're free to exit the terms. No harm, no foul. We part ways as friends. But we've got, through our partnership with Techs+Together, the ability to lower our starting minimum for anyone that comes on with us as a Techs+Together partner. Previously, our minimum was 15 clients at $25 each per client. Through Techs+Together and their support and buying power, we're able to offer a 3 client minimum at $99 a month. Now, think about your 3 largest clients. This is typically a no-brainer for them. Even if you guys have some smaller clients here and there, there's normally 2, maybe 3 clients that are your core offering. We are currently, and we also have a lower commitment available at our list price for Techs+Together clients. So if you have 10 clients, that makes sense. We can go ahead and give you that 15 client rate of $25 per customer. So there's 2 different options that we're only able to offer through Techs+Together, and that's 3 at $99 or 10 at $250. We are currently offering right now to be able to use the product risk-free and no bill for the rest of the year. So if you guys are interested in coming on board, giving us a shot, going through the onboarding, we'd love to see you guys see the data in action. We know that's how you'll fall in love with it. We are offering today for anyone that's on the webinar. If you guys go ahead and sign up, I'll kind of let the signups flow for the next hour or so. If you guys sign up and want to go ahead and take advantage of the new lower minimum and no bill for the rest of the year, I'll enter everyone that signs up into a raffle for a $100 gift card that comes on during the onboarding, or comes on during this webinar as well as the following hour. And I will also drop in the Techs+Together Discord my personal Zoom meeting room, so we can also have a office hours kind of face-to-face discussion that's not just through chat. If there's any other systems that you guys want to talk about or take a look at the data, happy to do that in that format for you as well. As well as if there's any questions you guys have here and now, happy to field those as well.
Hey, so John, lots of really great stuff. I did just want to echo what he said around the special offer that we are giving you guys. And the link is right there. Many people that we've spoken to, they've actually seen us before, and they're so excited that they'll be able to leverage this automation tool in Techs+Together. And we provided this offer, and the link is there. So they're really looking forward to, getting this tool in their stack. And if you want to learn more, definitely ask John some questions now. He's got his calendar link there as well. But if you've already seen us and you already love us, then definitely sign up, because we do have that gift card available, but you have to sign up. What's the end time, John? What did we say?
Let's say 5 Eastern.
5 Eastern. Okay. Awesome. Oh, we have a question that just came in. So how much will I pay for 5 customers? Great question.
Sure. Yeah. So if you come on with 5, it's $33. It'll just add a $33 per environment added to that. And then as soon as you guys get closer to the 8, 9, 10 range, then it makes more sense to just switch to the $25 for 10, and we'll get you switched over there. We're here to grow with you. We scale even past that. If you have more than, say, 25 clients, we have an even lower rate, and you can grow with us through Techs+Together as well. And then Ivan just went ahead and dropped in the chat a Discord link. Let me go ahead and share that. Looks like that just went to the panelists. So let me do everybody. So this is the Techs+Together Discord channel. If anyone on here isn't already in there, that's where I'm going to post my Zoom link for anyone that wants to have a one-on-one kind of office hours with me following up from this. I'll be on that location, but I think I'm at time here for you. I know there's probably things on fire you guys might have to run to, so I'll let y'all get back to it. But thank you so much for your time today. We'd love for you to give us a shot and come on board with us as a partner, and let us know if there's any questions you guys have. If you want to set up a different one-to-one with me, anything we can do for you, please let us know. We'd love to have you on board with us.